Hey guys, I'm Redeemed Zoomer, and today I have a very important announcement to make. So last year we started Operation Reconquista, a movement to retake the historic mainline Protestant denominations that have gone liberal and are dying out. We want to retake them and make them Christian again, rather than splitting off and forming new conservative evangelical denominations. Because we want to retake the historic American Protestant churches. There's a lot of reasons we want to do this. And now we have finally retaken our first church after just 1 year of this movement existing. So let me explain what happened. At first, the movement was just a few of us conservative mainline Protestants. I'm in the PCUSA. Some of us were in the Episcopal Church, in the United Methodist Church. So we started a Discord server to try and be a gathering place online for all conservative mainline Protestants who want to see a change in their denominations. And the Discord server grew rapidly. Hundreds and eventually thousands of mainline Protestants began joining it, including some pastors. One of the first pastors to join our Discord community was Reverend Jake Dell, who wrote an article about us for The Living Church, which is an Episcopal publication. Reverend Jake Dell was an Episcopal priest who joined our Discord server and was sort of a chaplain to our movement early on. And he helped the Episcopal members of our community actually get involved with some conservative Episcopal leaders in the Episcopal Church. So he was very important for us, very helpful for us. And he sort of got punished by the Episcopal Church for helping us. Even though there's a lot of faithful conservatives in the Episcopal Church, there's a lot of people in the Episcopal Church who are not faithful. So there were some false accusations against him that he wasn't following protocol by forming an alliance with our movement. So they sort of got him kicked out of the Episcopal Church because this one seminary student named Brad Eubanks lied about him. The Episcopal Church had another article where they did an investigation and they proved that he wasn't doing anything wrong. Jake Dell wasn't doing anything wrong by being part of our community. But even so, he sort of got blacklisted from several Episcopal dioceses, making it essentially impossible to get a new job. Now, a lot of people say, what should you do if you get kicked out of your mainline Protestant church? J. Gresham Machen was a PCUSA member about 100 years ago who got kicked out of the PCUSA for criticizing liberalism. He didn't even really get kicked out, he just got fired from his position. The way he reacted was by retreating from the denomination, starting a new denomination, and telling all other conservatives to leave. That's the retreatist model that he had. But Reverend Jake Dell had a different approach. Even after he had to leave the Episcopal Church, he still encouraged us from outside the Episcopal Church, and he didn't give up on trying to retake the mainline denominations. And very recently, he got a new job in a different mainline denomination, the United Church of Christ. So, there was this church in Woodbury, Connecticut, that had closed because most UCC, United Church of Christ, churches in the Northeast close rapidly because the UCC is the most liberal denomination. It's also a denomination full of very, very historic churches. So this church was no exception. Woodbury Church in Woodbury, Connecticut was a very old Congregationalist church founded in 1670. That's how historic this church is. Way older than America. Over 100 years older than America. And just like most mainline Protestant churches and liberal mainline denominations, this church had basically closed down 5 years ago. But because Jake Dell was dedicated to retaking historic churches, as per the spirit of our movement, he is now the pastor there. He has breathed new life into this church. He revived this church. This is what you should do if you get kicked out of a mainline denomination. Keep fighting and potentially join a different mainline denomination. Do not retreat and start a new denomination like J. Gresham Machen did. He's the patron saint of retreatism. So this is what happened. This is the church that we have retaken. First Congregational Church of Woodbury, Connecticut. When I say retake, it's not a hostile takeover. We are helping these denominations by breathing new life into them. And I can't really take credit for this. It was Jake Dell who did it, but we need to give him credit for not giving up after being shunned by the Episcopal Church. You should never give up. And this is a lesson that even when the liberals are powerful, God's kingdom is always more powerful. And it will help these denominations long term if we get conservatives to help revive them, because conservatives are the only people who really care about going to church long term and keeping the church alive. So, the number of churches retaken by the Reconquista movement has gone from 0 to 1, but this is not the end of it. This is just the beginning.